Welcome back. We're continuing the news. Earlier today, a bail application was refused in the Court of Appeal. A routine matter, or was it? Documents obtained by TVJ News show the matter involves a cancer patient, years behind bars, and highlights systemic weaknesses in the justice system. Giovanni Dennis has this special report on the case of Raymond Morgan.
Several months ago, a disturbing story from a caller to our news center. A story about a man behind bars since his conviction in 2011, trying for 10 years to get help filing an appeal. The man was Raymond Morgan, and up to Wednesday, he has been imprisoned for 4,298 days. Here's a timeline. He was arrested July 22, 2009 on fraud charges. On February 7, 2011, a year and a half later, he was tried and convicted in the Halfway Tree Resident Magistrates Court, as it was known at the time. Mr. Morgan represented himself after his attorney quit because he was unable to pay him. He says the trial judge, Mrs. Sonia Bertram Linton, refused his request for additional time to get another attorney. He also says he was refused legal aid. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison on 4 counts of fraud. He received the maximum 3 years on each count, and the sentences were to run consecutively, unusual in Jamaica's sentencing regime. 5 days after conviction, on February 12, 2011, he tried to appeal his sentence, arguing it cannot be justified, was harsh and excessive. But there was a problem. Being without a lawyer, Raymond Morgan completed his appeal papers himself. I have a copy of it right here in my hand. Department of Correction staff here at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center was tasked simply with delivering the appeal papers to the courts. However, on March 7, 2011, the appeal papers was incorrectly filed in the Court of Appeal instead of the Parish Court. In February 2012, this letter to then Senior Magistrate Judith Pusey from the Court of Appeal apologizing for the delay and acknowledging the error. The appeal court says it received no response from the Parish Court. In fact, Mr. Morgan didn't learn of the error until July 2017 when he wrote to the then Chief Justice, 6 years later. Letters between Mr. Morgan and the Office of the Chief Justice confirm this. With his appeal filed in the wrong court, he has been languishing in prison for nearly 12 years. Mr. Morgan sought help from Indicom, the Legal Aid Council, and Jamaicans for Justice, all without success. He has also spoken and written to senior officials in the Department of Corrections, including the Deputy Commissioner, expressing his frustration and asking for assistance. Still, little to no help. Add to that frustration the pain of a cancer diagnosis in 2017. We brought the case to the attention of Attorney-at-Law John Clark. Now, Mr. Morgan is represented by Mr. Clark and former Commissioner of Indicom Terence Williams as part of a larger project. But the appeal court denied the bail application today for 2 reasons.
First, that the Bail Act does not provide for bail pending appeal for persons who had not been on bail during their trial. And secondly, that given the fact that his grounds of appeal were delayed, his appeal is deemed abandoned.
Deemed abandoned because the Department of Corrections delivered the appeal in the wrong court. Mr. Williams and Mr. Clark are seeking to revive it, and both attorneys are hopeful.
The judge recognized that the justice system had failed in some respects regarding the long time that Mr. Morgan has been in custody awaiting the hearing of his appeal.
So what happens now? Well, Mr. Williams is looking to revive and add Mr. Morgan's appeal to 3 other similar appeals for a hearing May 11. In the meantime, no bail, no freedom until his appeal is heard. 221 appeals were filed in the Court of Appeal in 2020, 276 in 2019. Now in 2021, after serving more than his full 12-year sentence, Raymond Morgan's case will soon finally be numbered among new appeals before the court.
Whatever the outcome of this case, questions remain. Where does someone with no support turn for help to navigate our justice system? And what happens to those who don't get that support? Giovanni Dennis, TVJ News.